What is going on, everybody? Oscar checking back in. I've got some new content for you. I'm gonna be going out of town in a week, so I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff just ready to go. I'm recording this today. I'm gonna be recording a vinyl journey in a couple days. I should hopefully be dropping my 2 year eternity video this weekend. It took me a couple weeks to get it out, so there was kind of a blank space there between the last video and the 2 year eternity video, like a 2 week period. And I kind of mentioned that that might happen here or there, but I'm trying to course correct, get everything back on schedule to hopefully be dropping videos once a week. One of the things that I want to talk about with you all, and I'm not sure how many of you have read this yet or not, but I do want to talk about it. Only the first volume is out right now as of the making of this video. I think volume 2 is going to be out in a couple weeks. And I debated waiting for volume 2 to come out and then just kind of talking about the first two volumes. But I decided, you know what, I'm already here and I want to just talk about it anyway. So let's talk about Sakamoto Days. So this story reminds me kind of of if John Wick retired and had a family and let himself go. You know what I mean? That's what I think of when I think of Sakamoto Days. It's like a mishmash of that history of violence and way of the house husband. You know, it's just these things crashed, these things all just kind of crammed into one, and with very little violence. There is violence in it, but as far as killing and whatnot goes, that really kind of goes out the window as this dude is trying to not be a violent person anymore. I think it's a really solid series, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Volume 2. But for now, check out these panels and listen to me say a few things in the voiceover, and I hope that you enjoy this. Please stick around. I got a lot more content to come in the weeks and months and hopefully years to come. And I've been doing this for a year now, and hopefully as we get into year 2, things will keep moving up. So yeah, please stick around. Sakamoto Days by Yuto Suzuki is an ongoing manga series set with a crime-laden backdrop. It follows Taro Sakamoto, a once-upon-a-time hitman on par with some of the best, though he has long since cleaned up his act and settled down. Taro Sakamoto traded in guns and knives for diapers and milk bottles. He is happily married and has a small child now. Taro and his wife also run a corner convenience store together. To look at Taro now, overweight, mustache, dumpy looking, and bespectacled, you would not think this man once killed people with nary a care. Not to mention, some of his kills were pretty brutal, including beheading a hallway full of bodyguards. Even when he imagines killing people, not actually doing it but thinking about it, it's vicious as hell. Even though he's sworn off murder and now chooses non-lethal manners of taking out the bad guys, he still seems to have the violent tendencies of his past. Shin, his protege, as well as a young telepath, usually takes the brunt of Sakamoto's internal rage. Shin can see and or hear what people are thinking, and more often than not, he sees what Sakamoto is thinking, and it's usually something violent. And oftentimes it's about Shin and a brutally violent way in which Sakamoto imagines killing him. In a way, Shin is the straight man, reacting to some insane thought Sakamoto has, especially when he imagines killing Shin. The funniest part is it's almost always over the dumbest thing. Shin forgot to take out the trash or restock an aisle, and Sakamoto will imagine killing him by stabbing him, or breaking his neck, or even shooting him point blank. This series is essentially if John Wick decided to settle down and start a family. There are parts, history of violence as well. Some way of the house husband thrown in for good measure. There was also a film starring Song Kang-ho called The Show Must Go On that had a similar premise. Family man with mob ties trying to leave the mob and fully integrate into being a father and husband. Though this plays out way better than that miserable as hell film does. Given the major comical overtones, it doesn't fall into the more serious and sometimes depressing side of things like The Show Must Go On does. There's also the Tom Hanks film, Rhodes to Perdition. I feel like Yuto Suzuki does a solid job in presenting a story that, while at times violent and brutal, has solid action and a great sense of humor. His character designs are solid, but not anything incredible or jaw-dropping. They fit what he's creating, which is the most important part. At one point, Sakamoto looks like one of the dudes from Tokyo Revengers after burning ridiculous amounts of calories fighting. The action in the panels is fast and swift, It's entertaining to watch Sakamoto slam a fridge down on someone, but it somehow doesn't constitute as a kill. The no-kill thing is important to him now, separating himself from who he was. Still, it is entertaining watching this dude do solid snake no-kill takedowns, minus the sleep gun. I look forward to seeing where this series will head in the future. I've seen bits and pieces of what is to come, and it definitely has me excited. The assassins in upcoming volumes gunning for the price on Taro Sakamoto's head look sleek and cool, like characters out of the 2006 film Smokin' Aces. If you don't have the patience to wait for each physical volume, it is also available on the Viz Shonen Jump app. So I wasn't really sure, what to expect with Sakamoto Days, and I'm honestly glad that I picked it up because I'd pre-ordered it, and then I canceled my pre-order because I was trying to save some money at the time, and then I'd seen somebody say some words about Sakamoto Days, and I thought, let me give it a shot, dude. I'll check it out and I'll see how I like it, because I'd seen the cover, and the cover kind of threw me off a little bit, and I wasn't really sure, what to expect out of this series. And I think I featured it in my haul video, my supposed last haul ever video that cost me some subs. But in the time since that video, I've actually gained a bunch of more subs. So there's a lot more of you now, and it's pretty wild to me. I might actually make 200 subs at one point in time. And I'm not doing this, because I want to have some crazy sub count. I'm just doing this because I enjoy talking about manga, and I like hearing what you all have to say about these series as well. And I get solace, out of making these videos and having conversations about these sorts of things. Where I work, I was working nights initially, but I'm going to be switching to a day shift, so that'll give me a lot more of an opportunity to kind of start going through all the series that I've been collecting. I've actually picked up a bunch of stuff for May, and right now we're still in May, but by the time this video comes out, it'll be the middle of June or something. Really want to just keep doing more of these sorts of videos, more of my Let's Talk About and the Why You Should Read, and I got so many things that I want to do. I'm going to be doing a Chainsaw Man video too coming up soon in the next 3 or 4 months, about just calling Chainsaw Man a masterpiece, and I want to go back through everything. I'd read Chainsaw Man initially a year or so ago. I'd read the whole thing. I'd read it on the Viz app, and I never read this on the Viz app, but I did see it up there, Sakamoto Days, and it never really piqued my interest. I really didn't read a lot of stuff on the Viz app, and I really right now still don't read a lot of stuff on the Viz app. The only thing that I was kind of reading was Kaiju number 8, and I ended up just buying the volumes of Kaiju number 8. So I'm waiting on volume 3, though part of me does want to go back and just start reading Kaiju number 8 on the Viz app, and I have a video about that series, and I think it's a really solid one. And part of me does kind of wouldn't mind just going in and seeing what comes up next. But this feels episodic in a way, where there is kind of a continuous storyline through Sakamoto Days, but it's not progressing a narrative. Or it kind of is in a way, but it's not the main point of the story to progress a narrative. It feels just like episodic, where just random things happen in every section, and then there is a little bit of a through line that carries it on as Sakamoto is being hunted by the organization that he once worked for, and this dude was an assassin that was sent out to take him out, but Sakamoto was this dude's mentor, and he was his underling, trainee, whatever, and they form a relationship, and he brings him to work for him, so hence he's wearing the apron, and there's another girl that ends up working there as well, and I'm kind of curious as to what's gonna happen going forward, where will more people from his past come back and they'll end up working for him as well, and he'll end up just having a full staff, because at first it's just Sakamoto and his wife and his baby daughter, so it's kind of I was thinking for whatever reason I was getting a Spy Family kind of thing, but it's nowhere near that, because this dude's wife isn't an assassin, he isn't a hitman, or he was a hitman, and his wife isn't an assassin, and his daughter isn't telepathic or anything. But that is a solid series as well, Spy Family. I was actually reading Spy Family on the Viz app at one point in time, but for whatever reason I just never continued reading it. I haven't watched the anime. I'll be honest with you, I really don't watch a lot of anime anymore. I used to watch a ton of anime when I was a teenager into my early 20s, but now I'm in my 30s, and I really don't watch a lot of anime anymore. I've been watching Kaguya-sama Love is War, and I love that series. And I've also been watching Gomi Can't Communicate, and I think that's a really, really cute one as well. But other than that, like I really haven't been consuming much anime, and I had the Funimation app, but I ended up canceling my subscription just because like I haven't really been using it. Even my Viz app application, I haven't really been using much. Like I've just been giving them money for a service I don't even use, and it also has to do with the fact that like I was just like buried at work all the time. And I even talk about this in my vlog that I put out, that I hadn't really had a lot of time to do much of anything, and the weekends were my only real free time to do the things that I wanted to do. But hopefully, going forward now, transitioning to a day shift will help me out a lot, and I'll be able to do more content. I'll be able to talk about more manga, and I hope that you enjoy this video. I know I kind of rambled on a little bit, but yeah, I mean, hopefully, Volume 2 keeps up the shenanigans from Volume 1, and I like that this is a series that is more focused on not killing, where there's so much manga where like there's just constant death and destruction, and there's already enough of that in the world. So yeah, it's refreshing, to see something like this where they're trying to step that down and do something that's a little more wholesome in such a violent setting, because this does have like a super violent setting, and they're trying to bring something more family oriented and make it a lot cleaner and make it about preserving life instead of taking life. So that's something I think that is to be commended, and I'm excited to see what else Yuto Suzuki does with Sakamoto Days going forward. And I already have Volume 2 pre-ordered, so that's it for me, and my name is Oscar. Thanks for letting me take up a lot of your time. Thanks for letting me take up like 15 minutes of your time. Until next time we meet, please take care.